I'm going to do the same thing over here. But what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to make this dark. I'm going to make this a dark value. But here's a trick too. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this and I'm going to leave a little white spot right underneath that. You guys see that? Hopefully. And then again, I'm gonna make it so it's lighter as it gets up to this corner here. So what's going on is this is actually going back into space. It's going underneath the tank. So you're not actually gonna. It's gonna get darker as it goes down. Now, if it was coming out, it would actually be lighter down here because the light is more directly hitting the metal. But this is, it has to reflect up to it, and so it's a lot darker. So, again, I'm trying to keep my marks nice and linear. Okay. And there's like a little piece here that you can do whatever you want with it. I'm just gonna, again, I'm gonna kind of unevenly dress that. What I'm gonna do here is I'm going to shade it in, but I'm going to leave a little spot on the left-hand side white. And the reason why I'm going to do that is it's going to make it look like it's going back, that it's actually going back into space. Back into space. Like it's not just a flat square, it actually has depth to it. Now, here's another little dealy, another little trick I'm going to do here. I'm going to color it in, but I'm going to leave a little spot right there. And you know what, maybe I'll even erase it. What that's going to do is it's going to create like a highlighted area. It's going to make it look like the sun is hitting that spot just right. And then I'm going to make a little dark this here. Again, that'll make it look like it's sticking up, like it's three-dimensional. Because again, that's what I'm trying to help you guys do, try to draw stuff that's three-dimensional. Now at any time, you can shut me off, shut me up, and just start this on your own. But I got some cool stuff up my sleeve still. So stick around if you want. Same thing here. Alright. Okay, so there's that area. It's really starting to come together, I think. You know, it's creating that metallic look, but it's not so much like it's, you know, like a brand new car where it's all shiny and new and stuff. You know, tanks are often very rugged. Now, let's check out this area here, because what you're seeing is a piece of metal that has been bent. Alright, so there's a special way I'm going to deal with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start, and I'm going to draw a line like this. I don't know if you guys can see that, it's kind of light, but it's right here. I just drew a strip right here. And what I'm going to do is, on this side of the line, I'm going to make my lines at this angle. Okay, and I'm just going to shade it in. Nice and light. And then on this side, I'm going to shade at this angle. So one I'm going this angle, one I'm going this angle. What that's going to do is that's going to create the effect. This is a bent piece of metal. One piece is like this, one piece is like this, coming together. Now they're the same piece, but it's just been bent. And again, maybe at the edge I'll make it a little darker. Again, to make it appear like it's round. And maybe what I'll do too is I'll just take my eraser and I'll just make it, you know, a little bit lighter right by the reflection. Just that area right there. See how that creates that effect? And here I'm going to do the same thing over here. Again, it kind of makes it feel like, gives it a nice cohesive feel to it. So I'm gonna do the same thing right here. And maybe I'll just go down here and make it darker again. And then I'm gonna dark at the edge and then lighter as we go up to that reflection. Okay. And same thing over here. And nice and light. There we go. So there you go. It kind of creates that look like it's reflecting off. See that? It's kind of cool, if I do say so myself. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing over here and leave that little bit of white right at the edge. You see that? Hopefully. Now we're getting close. Another thing I'm going to do right here, because this is big flat area, so what do you do with that? Well, there's a couple things you can do. First of all, again, look at this angle here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that angle. And again, I'm going to leave a little white spot right there. And then what I can do is I can make a little dark area and then leave a little light. So again, it's not all the same. It kind of makes it more interesting that way. I'll do the same thing over here. And I'm going to come back down here. There's this little strip here that, again, I'm going to leave a little bit white. I'm not going to color the whole thing in. And maybe I'll leave a little reflection right there. A little white. That looks terrible. Let's not do that. Leave a little bit less. There we go. That's much better. Yeah, there we go. That's good. Now, for here, again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just follow the angle. See, the angle's going this way. So I'm just going to take my marks and I'm going to do the same angle. Like this. Okay. And again, what I'm going to do now, I've colored that in, or I've shaded that in. Now I'm going to shade it, and I'm going to make some areas a little darker. Like right over here. I'm going to make that nice and dark. And I'm going to leave that area a little lighter. See? Doesn't that kind of look like metal, guys? I think so. I don't care what you think. Just kidding. Just kidding. Now, the treads. What are we going to do with those treads? Well, normally the treads are a lot darker than any other spot on the tank. They have all the dirt and all the stuff on those. And they're usually rubber, black rubber. Anyway. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to color all these in individually. Takes a little bit longer, of course, if you do it this way. But again, that gives me the opportunity to put all those little areas of light, just to give it some more interest, just to make it pop a little bit more. If you do it all the same, it makes it flat. That's one thing you got to take away from my class. If you do everything the same, it's going to look flat, and it's not going to be very interesting. It's a good way to start. You know, it's a good way to, start learning, color everything in, color in the lines. But this is not about coloring in the lines. This is about creating that real look. That look where it's like, yep, that's what it really looks like. And of course, I'm not looking at anything real, so I'm just going by my experience, because I've done a ton of drawings in my day. And so what you can do to really practice this is take a picture of anything, doesn't matter what it is, trace it, and then look at the photograph and try to really draw it like you're seeing it. So see what I'm doing? Again, I'm not coloring it in all perfect and everything's the same. I'm leaving little white areas, little areas that are a little lighter. Again, that kind of makes it pop out a little bit more. What I might do though is on the bottom here, I might make that completely dark. Because again, what that does, we don't want everything the same. So I'm keeping it dark down here, and then it comes back up here, and then now you have those little reflections. Again, it creates that contrast, that really interesting contrast, and it kind of leads your eye from one place to another. Alright, so that's one tread. Now, here, this is kind of interesting again, because this is all dark. This is all dark metal. So if you're going to color it in, and again, maybe back here, I'm just going to make it completely dark. And the reason is because it's behind this tread, so there's not going to be a lot of light in this area. There's going to be very little light. However, here, these are all facing the outside, and so there'll be a little bit of dark spot here, right underneath this sheet metal. And again, because it's overhanging, and it's going to create a shadow. See how that works? It's going to create a shadow right underneath this here. Okay? But then you're going to come here, and it's going to be a little lighter. So let's go ahead and vary and make this a little bit lighter of a tone. Okay, and just for the heck of it, I am going to leave a lot of this area white down here, just so you can see it, just so it pops out. It does, right? Well, I think so. Let's go back over here now. Let's do the same thing, right? We're gonna color it in, but we're not gonna color it in all the same. We're gonna leave little white areas here and there. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect like you think it has to be perfect, like, oh, it has to be the exact same white on all sides. No, that's not how it works. Because in the real world, the more you observe, the more you'll observe that things in nature are has a lot of variety, ton of variety. So, like, you know, little reflections and little things like that, it'll never look the same twice. It's amazing. It's really amazing. And I mean, wouldn't you think that's what it would be? I mean, it's God's creation, right? It's God's creation, and so there is an infinite amount of ways that an object will appear in front of you. It'll never be the same. That's why it'll always be interesting. Just amazing. That's how I use art, guys. I use art to appreciate the world around me and appreciate God. It's a way of worship. Well, it's a pretty fine looking take, if I do say so myself. Let's take a look at that there. So I have we did this technique here. Remember how I did that bar right down the middle, and then using those lines to go like this. And I know a lot of you, when I was walking around and I was showing you how to do that, a lot of you struggle with it, and that's okay. I mean, it's definitely different. I mean, I was not taught this when I was your age. I was just taught, draw however you want to draw, and I wasn't given a lot of direction. I'm trying to expose you guys to a lot of different things and a lot of different directions and a lot of different ways to work. So you find the one that works for you.